Who are the biggest, baddest characters for all of Ultimus 7, guys? In this video, that is exactly what we are talking about. Talking about the characters that have worked best for me in this mode in hopes to help you with Ultimus 7 if you are struggling with it, or if your alliance has not yet reached it and you want to start to build some of these characters in advance. And if you guys are ready for all of that, you know what to do. Yeah, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. The NBA has shut down. Businesses are closing their doors and schools are closing, all in fear of the coronavirus. But no need to worry, guys. I am still here producing some high quality MSF content for you guys. Yeah, I'm actually working at home, so there's no reason to shut down. And that is a good thing, because in this video, I am talking about the Ultimus 7 raid. Been playing this raid for a little bit now, and I've kind of gotten a grasp on which characters I like to use, which characters I don't like to use. And I'm talking about my top 10 characters that have helped me in the raids. And hopefully, if you're struggling in Ultimus 7, this list helps you. And hopefully, if you are not yet entered in Ultimus 7, well, this can give you an idea of some of the characters that have helped me personally do pretty good in Ultimus 7. Now, this is not an end-all be list all of Ultimus 7. There are a lot of characters that may be working for other people that are not going to be on this top 10 list or on this honorable mention. And guys, if there are characters that I have missed, make sure you let me know in the comments, guys. But that is it. Let's get to this list.
Number 10.
Yes, coming in at number 10 is Vision. Now, this is not a character that I'm using on a daily basis on my primary team. None of these characters outside the top 5 are going to be on my primary team, but he still has some value and I still run him in certain nodes. So what makes him so good? Well, I think it is this move right here, his opening move, Dive Bomb, applying ability block to one target. And if you pair him with someone like Hela that can spread this ability block to all of the targets on the field, very, very powerful. He also has a way to remove positive effects on each target with his ultimate Solar Beam. And this basic is a very, very good candidate for T4s if you definitely want to invest in Vision with your T4s, if you are heavily invested in this character. Now, I am personally not heavily invested in him. As you can see, I only have 4 red stars on Vision, and this was something that I pulled just last week. He had very low stars for a long time, so this was not one of the primary characters that I have invested in. But if you have luckily pulled 6 red stars, 7 red stars, Vision is probably a character that you would want to take into Ultimus 7, possibly being on your primary team, especially if you don't have access to some of these characters later on the list. So Vision, very, very good character, and definitely worth checking out if you are struggling with Ultimus 7.
Number 9.
Oh, and number 9 on the list is that previously mentioned Hela. Like I said, she has that ability to spread debuffs, and who can forget about Greg, one of my favorite characters in the game. So what makes Hela so good? Well, in my opinion, there are 2 main things. One is that previously mentioned ultimate of hers that spreads debuffs to all enemies from the primary target. It is a pretty good AoE attack as well, 350% damage. The other thing is her passive. When she is spawned, she summons an undead Asgardian, Greg. When the undead Asgardian dies, she's going to summon another one. Now, the good thing about Greg, when he dies, he's also giving her health. Now, if you're using her by herself, not in a full Asgardian team, that health is always going to go towards Hela. 108% of this character's max health, so definitely building up Hela is going to help Greg, and it's going to help her healing as well. Now, the reason she's not on my primary team and I'm not using her more is because of this. 3 red stars, 5 gold stars, not very good right now. Have not had good luck with the RNG, but if you have more gold stars on her, if you have more red stars on her, got luckier than I have with these pulls, this is another character that you might want to consider on your primary team if you don't have access to some of these other characters that I will be talking about on this list. So Hela, very, very good character, and definitely worth thinking about putting on your primary Ultimus 7 team.
Number 8.
Oh, and coming in at number 8 is probably the best healer in the game right now, my girl Minerva. I think she is a requirement for Dark Dimension 2 if you want to get through that mode fast, but she's also very valuable in the raids. And if we look at her kit, guys, she has 2 main abilities that I think make her super valuable. None of her kit is worth T4s either, so that is a good thing. And as you can see, very low stars on her, low gold stars, low red stars, but she is still a beast, and that's because of these 2 moves: genetic resurrection, reconstruction actually, but she can revive a dead enemy. And in the raids, I think that is so valuable, especially for some of these longer raids where some of your primary characters might die. If she is on the field and this is not off of cooldown, well, you are gonna be in luck because she can bring them back with 40% max health. The other move that I like a lot is this one right here: 15% of health from all enemies and redistributing it to allies. Now in Ultimus 7, there's going to be a lot more health, and because this is a percentage based attack, it's going to be a pretty good attack, but it's going to give you back a lot of health, especially if there's a lot of enemies on the field. And then I almost forgot to mention her passive, because her passive is very good. If one of your enemies dies, she is going to get more speed bar, but on an enemy death, you're gonna get 15% of this character's max health applied to the most injured ally. Now, this is where having some more stars on her, some more red stars, some more gold stars will help. But this is such a good move that you're not getting as many kills in Ultimus 7 as often as you would be in some other game modes, maybe some of the Greek raids, maybe some like an Ultimus 6 or lower, but she still has a lot of value. So Minerva, if you are lucky enough to unlock her, or if you're someone that spends money on this game, she's definitely worth investing in if you can. But yeah, even with these low star levels, still a very good character and still a big asset to many teams.
Number 7.
Number 7 on this list is my boy Falcon, and for so long he was on my primary Ultimus 7 team. For a while he was on my primary arena team, but what makes his character so good? Now in my opinion, what makes Falcon so good is his turn meter manipulation. That comes from this move right here, Red Wing, and this is a turn-based game, so speed is very valuable. What this move does, and it has a very low cooldown, you could use this multiple times per battle. 3 turn cooldown, you're changing your speed bar for yourself and all of your allies by 25%, goes to 30% if you put a T4 in, which I have not. Plus, you're getting 10% for each enemy with a positive effect. And yeah, if you do the right scenario, this could bring your speed bar for yourself and all of your allies over 100%. So very good move. He has a pretty good AoE attack on his ultimate as well. So Falcon brings a lot of value to the team, and I still use him on certain nodes today. He's not on my primary team anymore, but yeah, on certain nodes, I still need to bring in Falcon because he makes some of these other nodes a little easier to clear. So he is one of my MVPs for this game mode, guys.
Number 6.
Number 6 is the Invisible Woman. Now, before Yo-Yo came out, she was on my primary team. She was one of the staples of the primary team, but because of the way Yo-Yo's passive works, she has that protector tag. It makes Yo-Yo a little less valuable if you're running her. So Invisible Woman got bumped down to my second team, and she's still a character that I use on certain nodes every single day. Let's take a look at her kit though, see why I think she is so valuable. Ooh, yeah, I put 3 T4s into her. That is how valuable she was to my team at one point. Like I said, fell off a little bit since Yo-Yo came around, but if you don't have Yo-Yo or you don't really have the resources to build up Yo-Yo, she is a very good substitute because she's a very good protector. One of my favorite moves of her is her ultimate, Psionic Shield. You're applying offense down for 2 turns to all enemies, so this is going to help the rest of your team survive, reducing the damage output from the enemies by 50%. Then you're applying barrier to all allies for 40% of this character's max health, so it is worth it to put some gold stars on her if you can. And if you get lucky with red stars, then awesome. This is a very strong move. I wish the cooldown was a little lower so you could use this more often, but even with it, I end up using this maybe once a match. Very, very valuable. And this is my opening move. If I could get those cooldowns reset. This is also a very good move. I don't use this as much because what you're going to do is you're going to apply stealth to all allies, and then she's going to clear stealth from the highest health ally. Sometimes that doesn't work out, so you need to be careful with this skill, but you're also clearing 2 negative effects from self and all allies. So if you don't have someone that could cleanse some of these debuffs on your team, she can do that. This is a higher cooldown though, so 4-turn cooldown. Not really the best, but she is so valuable. And her passive, now this is best on a Fantastic Four team, not necessarily best for Ultimus 7. So if you're just looking for Ultimus 7, well, this is a good character, but you're gonna increase the damage that she does when somebody with that barrier is attacked. So she's kind of a counter-attacking character here with that barrier that she places with her passive in conjunction. So Invisible Woman, she has fallen off for me a little bit. Still one of my top MVPs, but just not used as much as some of these other characters that are coming up.
Number 5.
Oh, and was there any doubt that the legendary Shuri would be on this list? She has been on my primary Ultimus 7 team for a long time now, even with some switches, with some other characters coming in, other characters going out. She has remained on my primary Ultimus 7 team. Now, I think she got a lot of flack because the Wakandans, they were billed to be this ultimate raid team, which they never really turned out to be, but Shuri, she still retains her value. Normally what I'm doing is opening with her special right here. What that's doing is applying defense up to self and all allies for 2 turns. Defense up is huge in this game mode, especially because you need that survivability because the enemies are going to have a lot of damage. What you're also doing, and you're going to generate ability energy for 2 random allies as well, so helping with your cooldowns of your other characters. This is also a very good move. This is something that I did invest a T4 in. You're healing the most injured ally for 500 health plus 15% of this character's max health. So the gold stars on her matter, the red stars on her, if you get lucky with it, will help you. So definitely worth building and investing in this character. What the T4 does though is it repeats this healing 4 times instead of 3. So I think this is a very, very good move and worth the T4. This one is kind of questionable as far as what you'll actually do for your team. But yeah, you're gonna get some value with it. She's gonna apply speed up to herself. There's no other Wakandan allies on the Ultimus 7 team, so she's not doing it there. She's gonna heal the most injured ally for 10% of her max health. So yeah, she's getting healing on every single turn. And again, gold stars, red stars will matter for her. Now, this is one that is not working properly, but it does work for all of the allies. In raids or in self or any, it should be all allies. Drop below 50% max health. They're getting 3 deflects. So very, very good. She helps with the survivability of the team, which is very, very important in Ultimus 7.
Number 4.
All right, and coming in at number 4 is Black Bolt, one of my favorite characters in the game, one of my favorite damage dealers for an Ultimus 7 team. Now, a little bit of controversial because he's not very free-to-play friendly. I don't think any free-to-play players got him on the first event, and it may not be looking very good for this second time coming around in April. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully they add more ways to get these character shards of the ASGARDIAN so that you can unlock him through his event. But very, very good character, but he does provide that damage, and you can replace him with other characters. But let me show you why I like this character. So one of the main reasons that I like Black Bolt is his pairing with Yo-Yo. When you use Yo-Yo's basic, she calls in a random Inhuman to assist, and if Black Bolt is the only other Inhuman, he is the one that's going to be called. And what he's going to do on that move is he's going to clear 2 positive effects. So this is a great way of getting around some taunts that the enemy use to clear some maybe offense ups that they may have to reduce some of their damage, give them survivability. He has a good single target attack there. He has a good AoE attack here, and his passive, this is where he really shines though. Characters that are killed by him cannot be revived. When an enemy drops below 25% health, attack that enemy for 200% damage. So it's almost like getting an extra attack from Black Bolt. If the enemy is a villain tech, attack that enemy for 400% damage. instead in an enemy summon, apply disrupted, clear 3 positive effects, and he's getting more resistance, he's getting more max health, also giving that to Yo-Yo in that pairing. So does a lot of good things, and I love that Black Bolt Yo-Yo pair for the raids. But if you don't have him, you have not unlocked him, I wouldn't worry too much, because there are a lot of other combos that work well, but this is just one of my personal favorites, guys.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3 is Black Bolt's partner in crime, Yo-Yo. And I love this pairing. I gave Yo-Yo a little nod over Black Bolt because she is the protector of that team and can help the team survive. And I think in Ultimus 7, if you're really trying to go through all these nodes, not spending any raid health, not spending any cores to refresh things, that survivability takes a little more precedent than damage. So let's go take a look at her kit. So this is another character that I invested a lot of T4s in. Like I previously mentioned, her basic is probably what I am using the most. And what this is going to do is call an assist from a random inhuman ally. And when you're using only Black Bolt on that Ultimus 7 team, well, he is going to use his basic and remove some debuffs. So you can remove some debuffs with Black Bolt's basic, and you can remove some debuffs with Yo-Yo's basic as well. You're clearing counters, and this is a very strong move. I did invest in the T4 in this ability, but I got to say I've been pretty disappointed. As an extra 20% damage, which is good. What I really wanted was the bonus attack for 3 additional targets instead of 2, but her damage is a little underwhelming, so I'm not sure if this is the best investment, but this is definitely something that you should invest in if you are looking to really build up your Yo-Yo, and that is her passive, because she's getting extra dodge chance, which is good. You need her to survive, to place those offense downs on the enemy, and you're getting extra focus as well, which is also helpful when trying to place those offense downs. But if we look at the rest of her kit, on an enemy turn, if this character has no other protector allies, which is why you don't want to pair Invisible Woman on the same team as Yo-Yo, because she's not going to do the offense downs to the enemies, and it cannot be dodged. The only thing that it can be done is resisted. So you really need her focus as high as possible. That's why I think this passive is very, very important. So very good for the whole health of your team. Whether you pair her with Black Bolt or you don't pair her with Black Bolt, you just got to put enough power into her so that her focus goes up enough so that she can apply these offense downs, and your team is going to survive a little more. So Yo-Yo, one of my top characters for Ultimus 7.
Number 2.
Yes, number 2 is Scientist Supreme, and it's almost like her kit was made for these Ultimus 7 raids. Let's go take a look at it, because she does so much with it. So like I said, her kit it looks like it was almost designed for Ultimus 7. Every single one of these moves has some value. Normally what I'm opening with is Retro Vaccination, a little bit of healing going on there, but the main thing, you're applying 2 to 3 random negative effects to herself or to all non-aim allies and enemies for 2 turns. So in my primary Ultimus 7 team, she is the only she's the only aim ally, so pretty much everyone else is getting a bunch of negative effects applied to them. But the good thing, it's also going to the enemies as well. So offense downs, speed downs, you don't really get to choose, but I love it when they get those defense downs, because that opens it up for this move right here. You're flipping the negative effects. Now I did put a T4 into this move. I didn't see the value of it at first because I wasn't seeing more than 3 negative effects on my team on some of those earlier nodes, but as I start to clear more and more content in Ultimus 7, I'm seeing a lot more debuffs on my team, so I needed at least 4 flipped. So this became a lot more valuable to me. You're getting regeneration to self and all aim allies, so that's pretty much just regeneration for self. And yeah, very, very strong. So it's not just cleansing those debuffs off, she's actually fibbling them. So offense downs, they become offense ups. Speed down, they become speed ups. Defense downs, they become defense up. So very, very valuable. Her basic is also actually pretty good, applying 2 random negative effects to the primary target, and more often than not, I'm seeing that target get defense downs or offense downs, which is very, very important because yeah, offense downs is going to help with the survivability of your team. Her passive is also very, very good. The big thing right here is on turn, 25% chance to revive an ally with 20% max health. Aim allies revive with 25% of max health. So this move is so important in my opinion that if I get some bad RNG and Scientist Supreme happens to die, well, I am forced closing that node and trying it again because I need her on the field. If she dies, there's no regenerations because usually I'm not running Minerva on that same team with her. But if another enemy or another ally dies, then she still has that chance to bring them back. So very, very valuable. May even be my MVP, but she did not get the #1 spot. Let's see who got it. I don't think it's gonna be a surprise who got it.
#1.
Yes, surprise, surprise. Yeah, I don't think anybody was surprised. I think people knew Ultron would be the MVP of this game mode. Scientist Supreme, very, very close though for me. He does so much. His whole kit is very, very good. Let's go take a look at it. And this was one character that I put all the T4s into. I think that is how good he is. Maybe not the basic, but just because I am a completionist, I think I needed all of the T4s in Ultimus. And very, very close to getting to the gear tier 14 as well. So looking to get a lot more beefier. Factory upgrade. This is an important skill. Now managing his cooldowns is probably the biggest pains for Ultron. So what he's going to do is summon 3 minions. The T4 is very, very valuable because without it, you are going with 2 to 3. So 3, a lot more valuable than 2. And you're getting some extra damage from your minions. This one is also a very good skill. This would probably be my 3rd best one, but you're getting extra damage, 700% piercing damage, so armor does not matter when Ultimus is attacking. This ability deals double damage against targets with defense up, so pretty much negating that defense up there. The cooldown is very, very high, but the good thing is you're gaining 1 ability energy per positive effect on self, which is why it's very good to manage those positive effects from Scientist Supreme and some of these other characters. You want to try to keep as many positive effects on Ultron as possible because this move matters. He has high cooldowns on his special and his ultimate. So running this whole team, very, very important to watch those cooldowns to make sure he has enough positive effects so that when you do this ultimate that yeah, you're not screwed, because if he's not able to call his bots, if he's not able to get ability energy, he's not very good. So managing that cooldowns, managing his energy, very important. His ultimate, this is probably one that I would invest in second if you were investing in his T4s. On kill, prolonging all positive effects. So very, very good. Again, the positive effects on Ultron matter. So yeah, anything that's going to help you to prolong them, keep more positive effects on this character is going to be very valuable. So his passive is very, very valuable. And this one, like I said, it's probably just because of the completionist in me. If you needed to skip one, this is probably the one you could skip. But because I'm using Ultron so much, I invested in him. So this is the best character in my opinion for Ultimus 7, although Scientist Supreme, very, very close. Let's go look at these honorable mentions. Now, for one reason or another, these characters did not make the top 10, but I think they're very, very good characters and do need a mention. The first one I want to bring up is Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, the reason he did not make my top 10 list is because I don't really use him. I have not built him up enough to make him valuable in the Ultimus 7 raids, but I do want to mention him because I know a lot of people have built him up and he is a very, very valuable asset to their Ultimus 7 team. So if you have the gold stars on him, if you have the red stars on him, if you have him built up already, he's a very, very good character that you might want to bring into Ultimus 7, depending on who you're surrounding him with, but definitely deserves a mention here. Other one is Groot, my favorite tree in all of Marvel's Strike Force, and he was on my primary Ultimus 7 team for a while. Does a lot of the same things that Shuri does. He gets that death proof, he gets that defense up, he can clear negative effects off of your team, he has a little bit of healing. So if for some reason I don't have my Scientist Supreme and I don't have my Shuri, Groot is a good replacement for them because this does a little bit of each of those. Plus he has some good damage, but not on my primary team anymore, but is one of my primary backups for Ultimus 7. And the other character I want to mention is Captain Marvel. Huge damage dealer, has a lot of sustainability with her self heals. When she goes into binary mode, she has an AoE attack that can do a lot of damage. So if Black Bolt is a character that you don't have, Captain Marvel is a character that may be worth a good replacement for him. So that is my list, guys. Those are the characters that are working for me, along with a few honorable mentions. So is there anybody I forgot? Like I said in the beginning, let me know in the comments if there is a character that is working very well for you that is not on this list, that is not on the honorable mentions. So hopefully you can help some other members of the community out if they don't have all of these characters built up. They could build a pretty strong Ultimus 7 team. That is the goal of the channel, guys, to help everybody out, to entertain you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel, smash on that like button, and join the notification squad, guys. There's some links down below, BlueStacks, other games that I'm playing. All the links are free, and there's also a link for some Valley merch. That stuff's not free, but you can check that out. There's a sale that goes on every now and then, so if you want to stock up on that, make sure you check that out. And I will see you guys next time. Make sure you check me out on social media and give me a Hulk fist bump, baby. ValleyFlyin out.